PV's Paul codes of confidential file, undertook to film a model psychosis in our laboratory in an attempt to impress upon the public, through a case of artificial insanity, that the mentally ill is not inhabited by the devil.
All right, so LSD experiment, schizophrenia, psychosis induced by LSD, 25, 1955, CIA-funded, MK Ultra. Schizophrenic model, psychosis induced by LSD, 25. Nicholas A. Bursell, MD, Department of Physiology, University of Southern California, Medical School, Los Angeles, California. There's a good video, you know. I just read the title before I read what's on the screen. There's a good video about it. You should see it. Secondly, we will go to this, and then we'll go to the other video. Then I'll read you this. And then by the time I'm done, if you do not understand that this is what's going on, you know, you should be beat the fuck up and shot. You are a traitor to God. You're a traitor to humanity. The world would be a better place without idiots like you. Your stupidity has gone beyond the point of fucking no return. For example, if somebody goes around shooting people and they're too stupid to see that it's wrong, then they need to be fucking put down. Especially if the system's not going to do anything about it. So let me play you this clip.
Cuba's prime minister, much to the chagrin of the U.S. government and exiled corporations, Castro led Cuba for decades, even surviving the fall of the Soviet Union. The U.S. spent years pushing for regime change in Cuba, most notably in the disastrous Bay of Pigs invasion, and the U.S. focused on Castro specifically. According to Fabian Escalante, the former head of the Cuban Secret Service, there were over 600 attempts to assassinate Castro. These weren't the usual bullet or plane crash scenarios, and the CIA had some unusual help. Here's where it gets crazy. The first documented plans to assassinate Fidel Castro date back to 1960. Escalante claims that every U.S. president from Eisenhower to Clinton has, at some point, attempted to kill Castro. While it's impossible to verify the specifics of Escalante's claims, it is clear that numerous plots existed. It's also clear that many of the plans never moved past the drawing board. These plans range from the plausible, such as having Castro's mistress poison him, to the outrageous, such as exploding cigars. Many of these assassination attempts involved poison, whether it was to be injected via a hypodermic needle, mixed into a milkshake, or spread inside a wetsuit. But not all of the CIA's alleged plots centered on killing Castro. Plans to dose him with LSD or remove his facial hair were meant to discredit the leader rather than kill him. While these operations...
Now, recently, ironically, the female that I was dating last, she wanted me to cut my beard. Okay? And so you can see that that contributed to my decision to cut my beard. And since I was coming off as a devout Muslim, you can see how that there's parallels you can draw there. But that is the least, that is the only questionable thing. Nothing else is questionable. Everything that I've claimed, they have tried on record. And did they just try it in the 60s? No, they tried it all the way through to President Clinton. Okay, they were still trying this in the 90s. And if you think magically these lowly dogs changed their tactics when Bush took over, you're an idiot. It was Bush Sr. So the Bush family tried this on record. And why, you know, who were mad? The corporations were mad and the government were mad, and they reached out to La Cosa Nostra, the Italian mafia. Gang stalking, organized crime, corporations, the government, intergovernment cooperation, the cooperation of government personnel and institutions. So, we know that. Okay, now let's go on. We all know who supplied ISIS with their weapons and so on.
At that point, the facility was, buildings were collapsed, bunkers were torn open from bombs. It was a huge mess. Now, what the UN did is it gathered all the chemical arms it could safely and incinerated them, got rid of them. There were a small number, I certainly wouldn't call a stockpile, a small number of weapons that were essentially too dangerous because they were leaking for the inspectors to even drain them and incinerate them. They were put into two very large bunkers and sealed in concrete. Now, when I went back in 2003 and went out to this facility, I discovered that indeed in the period after the inspectors, UN inspectors left in 1998 and before the Second Gulf War in 2003, the Iraqis or someone had broken into some of the bunkers and gone through various facilities. Now what they gathered together is a lot of scrap that was
Make a long story short, Iraq War is the title. ISIS takes chemical weapons complex. Chemical weapons complex. You know, kind of like the military-industrial complex. There is a whole fucking group, a whole complex, a whole collusion of people involved in the production and sales of chemical weapons. Okay, so now that I've covered it beyond any doubt that this is what our government does on record, there's no question about it. On record, they tried to play Castro out by trying to induce a psychosis. Now, if they were to do that on an American citizen, the point would be kind of like, oh, right, it would be to provoke someone to go to the psych ward. Clip, please.
Did you say anything about psychiatry?
Yeah.
What did you say?
If I believe that you believe in a psych ward, I think you're crazy. If I believe psychiatry is real, if I agree with what you believe in psychiatry.
And what did you say?
Well, I said no, I don't.
Did you say anything about I need to be in the psych ward or anything like that?
Did you say anything about what?
About me needing to be in the psych ward or anything like that?
Yes, he did.
Well, did he try to get you to help him get me to the psych ward?
Because you all peaceably.
So he asked you to help piss me off so that I go to the psych ward?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Now, hopefully the clip played where they said that, you know, they were told to provoke me to go to the psych ward by an atheist. Remember, I said the philosophies of these people, and number 5 is atheism on my list, and there's out of 6. So now I probably have about, maybe like fucking 7 minutes left or so. So let me get to reading. New methods for administration of psychiatric medication, faculty and disclosures. Question: what new methods of delivery have been developed for the administration of medication to treat depression, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia? Response from the expert. C. Lindsay Devon, PharmD, Professor and Vice Chair for Research, Department of Psychiatry, Medical University of South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina. Not all drugs come in the form of pills. We learned this fact as children, often discovering that tablets and capsules are hard to swallow, and medicine spooned out as liquid, while easier to take, can have a bad taste. Thus, we are introduced to the advantages and disadvantages of various drug dosage forms at an early age. When we receive training about pharmaceutical preparations as healthcare students, we are generally introduced first to solid dosage forms, accompanied by discussions of the characteristics of each type. Some common examples include breakable tablets of various sizes and shapes, enteric-coated tablets, soft liquid-filled gelatin capsules, and capsules containing powder of various sized beads. Each of these familiar dosage forms has advantages and disadvantages. This discussion will provide some background on the rationale for newer drug formulations being introduced to treat mental illness. When drugs are administered in tablet or capsule form, they must first dissolve into a solution before being absorbed across the membranes of the gastrointestinal tract and reaching the circulation for distribution in the body. This step in the absorption process introduces a necessary delay in the drug reaching the site of action. One advantage of oral liquid dosage forms is that they generally are absorbed more quickly than a dosage formulation of the same drug, which must dissolve in the gastrointestinal fluids. Faster absorption means higher blood levels of the drug are achieved sooner after administration, which can be helpful when the condition to be treated requires a fast-acting therapeutic effect. In the emergency setting, for example, an acutely agitated or anxious patient may benefit from a drug dosage form that is quickly absorbed. However, drugs in liquid form can be inconvenient to store and are sometimes difficult to dispense in a consistent amount. When chronic conditions are treated, such as depression, rapid effects following drug administration are less important than convenience, reproducible bioavailability, and tolerability. Thus, a variety of dosage forms for any given drug may be useful to address patient needs under different circumstances. Most psychoactive drugs are marketed as of tablet or capsule formulation, the most common solid dosage forms. The new drug formulations are being developed to control the release of the drug, and this comes out in like 2012 or something. And the rate of exposure to the body. In recent years, a number of new sustained or delayed absorption formulations have been marketed, controlling and generally delaying the rate of drug absorption, but not reducing the total amount absorbed, results in a smoother drug concentration over time curve in comparison to a rapid drug release. This characteristic has the frequent advantage of diminishing any adverse events that may be related to high peak blood concentrations while maintaining the same overall therapeutic benefit. Controlled release formulations of antidepressants, including paroxetine, venlafaxine, and bupropion, have generally resulted in better tolerability. A reputed advantage of such formulations, although difficult to quantify, is a beneficial effect on patients' adherence to prescribed therapy. The drug delivery field has advanced considerably in the past few years. It is now possible to control the release of drug from a single dosage form in a manner that was only dreamed of until recently. For example, newer formulations of psychostimulants have been designed to release an initial amount of drug into the bloodstream for rapid therapeutic effects, followed by a slower release of drug to maintain the therapeutic effects without having to redose again during the day. New multi-phase, multi-compartment capsules have several potential advantages. They can incorporate one or more release profiles into a single dose form, such as immediate release and pulsatile release in the same capsule. Drugs can be delivered with the most, I'm running out of time here, get to the point, advantageous pharmacokinetic profile. There can be less odor and less irritation and a reduction in unpleasant taste commonly found with some tablets in traditional capsules. In addition to the familiar dosage forms, we've seen more novel methods of drug delivery of psychoactive drugs. There are new technology in virtually every era of drug delivery, including transmucosal skin delivery and inhalation, in addition to oral drug formulations. For example, a new inhalation technology vaporizes drugs to form a condensation aerosol that allows rapid drug delivery through deep lung inhalation. The drug is quickly absorbed through the lungs into the bloodstream, providing a speed of onset of activity that is comparable to that of intravenous administration. One compound, AZ/004, being developed by Alexa Pharmaceuticals, is in phase 2 clinical trials in schizophrenic patients. The initial results reveal, well, I'm almost out of time, so let me wrap this up. The AZ/004 reaches peak plasma drug levels in the first few minutes after administration. Another company with novel technology is Novadel Pharma. Its technology emphasizes oral or lingual spray of drugs to enhance the rate of absorption. Drug delivery through the oral mucosa avoids drug degradation in the gastrointestinal tract and metabolism by liver enzymes. A result is the potential for faster onset of action. Our research group has, okay, blah, 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 okay? You get what I'm saying. It goes on to say nasal inhalation, blah, blah, blah. I'll finish this in another page 7. Keep that in mind, page 7. Anyway, so, beyond any doubt, they have the technology. You could argue that it's in the late stages of trial, which is the trial on unsuspecting fucking political dissidents, and we have gone over the side effects time and time fucking again. Oh shit, I buried it. Anyway, I have a long list of side effects I've shown in the other videos. Go to my other videos. I'll put it in the comments. Look in the comments. I'm out of time.
Activities with Castro a fluke, or did they set a precedent? Are we still in the assassination business? And, if so, who are we targeting today? For now, that's the stuff they don't, or spread inside a wetsuit. But not all of the CIA's alleged plots centered on killing Castro. Plans to dose him with LSD or remove his facial hair were meant to discredit the leader